I've been dreaming of building a sim rig that feels like an actual race car since I was like 14 years old. Over the years, I've come pretty close a few times, but it's never been perfect. Now with Cupcar 2.0 underway and some of the best sponsors behind me that I could possibly imagine, I think it's finally going to be possible. I still have a lot to learn if this is going to be successful, but I'm going to take you guys along for every step, every challenge, and every breakthrough in my journey to build the ultimate sim rig. In this video, I'm taking you guys behind the build of Cupcar 2.0. What's up, guys? So, as I said in the intro, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of Cupcar 2.0 today, but this is going to be a little bit different than most of my videos because I'm not going to have a lot of cinematic B-roll, and I don't necessarily have a lot of things to show you guys right now. There is some build progress things that I'll show you a little bit later in the video, but for the most part, there's going to be a bit more talking in this because there's so many exciting things that have happened since the last Cupcar update that I just need to update you guys one last time before the build starts. Now, for those of you that have never checked out the channel before, the B-roll you saw in the intro was all from the original Cupcar build. Cupcar 2.0 is going to be reimagined from the ground up. We're talking new rig, new hardware, pretty much new everything. And in order to make this happen, I decided to approach the build just a little bit differently. Now, my previous builds have all been self-funded. I've been trying to grow this channel on my own and do as much of it as I possibly could. But for Cupcar 2.0, I had a vision and I was going to need some help. So I started thinking, what if I brought an actual race team together for this build? A group of curated sponsors that were like-minded, that believed in immersive sim racing, that could help me deliver something truly one of a kind and amazing. Now, as I got deeper into this, I started getting pickier and pickier about who was actually going to be involved. When you guys hear this list, I hope you guys will be as stoked as I am, because it's honestly, like, I still, at this moment, and I've known for days for most of these brands, I still can't wrap my head around the level of support that I've gotten for this build. Now, before I break down the full list, I just want to share with you guys, there are a few brands that I'm hoping to still get involved that haven't committed yet. And there's some brands that just weren't interested quite yet. But that's all right. I'm pretty sure by the time we get through this build and on to the next one I have planned, which I will share with you guys after we get through this build, I think they'll want to be involved because this is going to be an epic build. But for now, before we go any deeper into the build process and things that I'm working on, it's time for me to tell you guys who all's gotten involved so far. Now, like I said, this build needs to have true race car heritage behind it, and I couldn't think of a better brand for the actual sim racing cockpit than to partner with Sabelt America. Now, the rig and seat that they're going to provide for this build are already in the mail, so they'll be here in the next few days, and in the next video, I'll be able to share exactly which rig and seat I'm going to be using from Sabelt. Now, as some of you probably already know, I've been doing some work with Apex Sim Racing, and they've also agreed to sponsor the build. They're in the middle of some really innovative stuff, and we're going to work out some details on that later, but I'm excited to have them on board. Now, the next couple brands shouldn't come as any surprise to you guys because I've already shared them with you, but Buttkicker has already provided at least one Gamer Pro for the build, and of course, I'm working with SainSmart, and they've provided a CNC machine, so I could really dial in and get some solid builds to be able to attach different things to the rig. Now, for the fifth and final brand, I had to be a little more creative with this one because the steering wheel is going to be the face of this build. It's going to be something that truly determines whether it feels real or not. And I didn't want to just go with any racing wheel. You guys already know I'm building a 992 wheel replica that I'm hoping I'll be able to finish at some point, but that's not going to be the main racing wheel. I wanted something more raw, more authentic, and more professional. And if you guys aren't familiar with Simline, they're a brand over in Poland, and they make some really authentic looking wheels that I think just look amazing. So when I reached out to them, they were excited about the project. They jumped on board. They're in the process of putting the wheel together and getting it sent over. So I'm super stoked to have them on board. I look forward to being able to review this wheel with you guys. Honestly, I feel like a lot of the sponsors on board are going to bring some new things that you guys probably haven't seen before to the table and offer me the opportunity to share with you guys some new tech and new things that are happening in sim racing, while at the same time making one of the most incredible builds ever. But for now, let's move on from the sponsors and talk about some of the challenges I've faced with this build so far already. So one of the biggest challenges I'm facing right now is just not being able to start designing, because I need the cockpit here. Until the cockpit gets here, it's hard to know the measurements I need to design the new interior. For example, this is the old dash, and the old dash had a lot of issues. Like, there's some weird stuff that happens where the lines come together here, and once it's printed, it just looks a tiny bit wonky. It needs to be shortened up a little bit and the bottom grown a bit, just for the level of detail that I want for this to look as accurate as possible. It needs a little bit of a redesign. But without the gear here, I can't start the design, and that's driving me crazy. It's going to throw off the project for a bit, but you know what? All in all, it's going to be worth it because the new rig's going to be amazing. Now, I've typically used Blender for all of my designs, and it's worked really well for me. But getting into CAD design and CNC machine has been a whole nother animal, and this is probably going to be the biggest setback of this entire build, and it's something that I'm so confused about why I even have a hard time wrapping my head around this, because I picked up 3D printing so easy. But Fusion 360 is just a beast. Like, maybe it's me being in my own head, but this has been probably one of the most challenging things to try to get figured out and just to get something to go on the CNC machine. So let me show you guys. Last night I took my first shot at using it and finally was able to get an engraving that I wanted to put onto one of these little blanks just to test it and make sure it was going to work and make sure I could dial it in and get all the positions right. And as you could see, I got to the T in third wheel exclusive before snapping the bit, so something in my coding was off. So that's just a few of the challenges I've faced, as I'm trying to get into this build. I was really hoping that by this video we would actually be starting the build, but obviously waiting for the new sim rig and everything is absolutely worth it. So we'll be able to start building on the next video. Obviously, I'll overcome the 3D printing. That's not even a concern. I'll be able to start designing that and getting that right pretty quick. The CNC makes me a lot more nervous, and I feel like I'm going to face a lot of challenges with this. And I'm really hoping I'm able to deliver the quality that I want to with it, but it's definitely going to take some work to learn how to use it properly and get this dialed in. If you guys are interested in checking out the sponsors and helping support the channel, check out the links down in the description. Next week, I'll be revealing the full Sabelt rig with a few surprises. As a reminder, this is a community build, so I want to hear your guys' feedback. I want to hear your guys' ideas. It's still early enough to make changes, so let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. And just to make sure you don't miss any of it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and I'll see you guys out on the track.